In the heart of the Andromeda Galaxy lay the planet AZ, a world of striking contrasts and untamed beauty. Vast, crystalline lakes mirrored towering mountains, and lush forests teemed with exotic wildlife. Yet, beneath this veneer of tranquility, AZ harbored a complex and turbulent society divided into three distinct factions: the ATR, the ETR, and the CTR. The ATR, driven by an insatiable lust for violence and power, were the most feared. Their leader, Ur, was a ruthless warrior who commanded an army of fiercely loyal soldiers. The ATR believed in brute force and sheer domination, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. The ETR, on the other hand, were cunning and strategic. Led by the brilliant tactician Usti, the ETR used guile and subterfuge to conquer planets. They prided themselves on their ability to outthink their enemies and achieve victory with minimal casualties on their side. However, their conquered worlds often found themselves ensnared in a web of control and manipulation. The CTR, or Celestial Tranquility Regiment, were the youngest of the factions, formed in response to the devastation wrought by the ATR and ETR. The CTR's mission was to protect and preserve the integrity of planets under threat. Founded by the visionary leader Orion, the CTR sought to bring peace and stability to the galaxy, though their efforts had yet to yield a significant victory. Chapter 2: The ATR and ETR Factions. The ATR's stronghold was a fortress of steel and stone, a testament to their might and dominance. Ur, a towering figure with scars crisscrossing his face, stood before his assembled troops. His voice boomed through the hall. "We are warriors. Our destiny is to conquer and rule. We will crush anyone who stands in our way." The ATR soldiers, clad in imposing armor, roared in agreement. They thrived on the chaos of battle, reveling in the fear they inspired. Planets that fell under their control were often left in ruins, their inhabitants either subjugated or exterminated. In contrast, the ETR operated from a sleek, technologically advanced citadel. Usti, with his sharp features and piercing gaze, addressed his council. "Our strength lies in our intellect. We will outmaneuver the ATR and any other who dares oppose us. Our control will be absolute, but we must be patient and precise." The ETR prided themselves on their intelligence and strategic acumen. They used spies, diplomats, and covert operatives to infiltrate and destabilize their targets before moving in to take control. Planets under ETR rule experienced a more subtle form of oppression, bound by the ETR's intricate systems of governance and surveillance. Chapter 3: The Birth of CTR. The CTR was born out of desperation and hope. Orion, a former scientist turned leader, gathered like-minded individuals who believed in a peaceful galaxy. They established their base on a hidden moon, far from the reach of the ATR and ETR. The CTR focused on developing advanced technology and diplomatic strategies to protect vulnerable planets. Orion stood before a group of his top advisors in their modest command center. "We cannot match the ATR's brute force or the ETR's cunning," he said, "but we can offer protection and hope. We must be the guardians of those who cannot defend themselves." The CTR consisted of engineers, scientists, and former soldiers disillusioned with the violence of the other factions. They worked tirelessly, creating defensive technologies and forging alliances with smaller, peaceful planets. Chapter 4: The Plan to Conquer Earth. The leaders of the ATR and ETR, Ur and Usti, convened in a hidden chamber deep within the ETR citadel. Holographic displays illuminated the room, casting an eerie glow on their faces as they discussed their next target, Earth. Usti outlined his plan with precision. "We will hack the mind of the most powerful leader on Earth. By manipulating key individuals, we can create chaos and panic. They will be ripe for conquest, and we can take control without significant loss of our own resources." Ur nodded approvingly. "You have 1 year, Usti. Make sure your plan succeeds. I want Earth under our control." Usti chose the United States as his target, identifying a prominent presidential candidate to manipulate. Using advanced ETR technology, he began the process of hacking into the candidate's mind, subtly influencing his thoughts and actions to ensure victory in the upcoming election. Chapter 5: The Election Strategy. As the election approached, the candidate, now under Usti's control, began to rise in popularity. His speeches became more persuasive, his policies more appealing to the masses. Behind the scenes, Usti orchestrated events to create a climate of fear and uncertainty, making the candidate's promises of strength and security even more attractive. Meanwhile, the CTR learned of the ATR and ETR's plan through their network of informants. Orion called an emergency meeting. "We cannot allow Earth to fall into their hands. We must act swiftly and decisively." Chapter 6: CTR's Counterplan. CTR leaders devised a strategy to save Earth. They selected Ur, one of their best operatives, for the mission. Ur was skilled in both combat and diplomacy, making him the perfect candidate for the task. Orion briefed Ur on his mission. "Your primary objective is to to find and neutralize the ATR members on Earth who are preparing for an attack. You must also uncover and thwart Usty's plan to hack the presidential candidate's mind. Chapter 7. Uter's mission. Uter traveled to Earth, blending in with the local population. His first task was to identify and locate the ATR operatives. He followed leads and gathered intelligence, eventually pinpointing a hidden ATR base in a remote area. Uter infiltrated the base, using his skills to avoid detection. He discovered detailed plans for an imminent attack on key Earth locations. Armed with this knowledge, he contacted CTR and coordinated a counteroffensive to neutralize the ATR threat. Chapter 8. Meeting Victor. With the ATR operatives on the run, Uter turned his attention to Usty's plan. He knew that simply exposing the manipulated candidate wouldn't be enough. He needed a viable alternative. After extensive research, he identified Victor, another presidential candidate who had been running a light-hearted, satirical campaign more for amusement than serious political aspirations. Uter arranged a secret meeting with Victor. Under the cover of night, they met in a secluded park. Uter wasted no time. Victor, Earth is in grave danger. The current frontrunner in the presidential race is under alien control. You must win this election to save your planet. Victor looked skeptical. Who are you, and why should I believe you? This sounds like a bad sci-fi movie. Uter extended his hand, and a holographic display appeared, showing footage of alien technology and intercepted communications between Usty and his operatives. This is real, and you are Earth's best hope. Victor's eyes widened. This is unbelievable. But even if what you're saying is true, I'm just a comedian. I can't win the election. Chapter 9. The stand-up comedian. Uter learned that Victor was a well-known stand-up comedian who had decided to run for president as a joke, using his platform to highlight the absurdities in politics. His campaign had gained a cult following, but he was not considered a serious contender. Victor sighed. I never intended to win. I just wanted to make people laugh and think. The idea of me as president is ridiculous. Uter placed a hand on Victor's shoulder. Sometimes, the most unexpected heroes are the ones who make the greatest difference. You have a way with people. Use that to your advantage. We don't need a politician. We need someone who can unite and inspire. Victor looked at Uter, seeing the sincerity and desperation in his eyes. All right, I'll do it, but I'm going to need your help. Chapter 10. The campaign. With Uter's assistance, Victor's campaign took a dramatic turn. They began to expose the flaws and manipulations of the leading candidate, subtly revealing Usty's influence without causing widespread panic. Victor used his humor and charisma to connect with the public, slowly gaining traction. Uter worked behind the scenes, using his advanced technology to gather evidence and ensure Victor's safety. They faced numerous challenges, including assassination attempts orchestrated by Usty's agents and smear campaigns to discredit Victor. Victor's unique blend of humor and sincerity resonated with the people. He highlighted the importance of unity, integrity, and the need to address the real issues facing the planet, such as pollution, war, and water shortages. His message began to spread, and people started to see him as a serious contender. Chapter 11. The climax. As the election drew closer, the stakes grew higher. Usty intensified his efforts to sabotage Victor's campaign, but Uter and Victor were always one step ahead. The final debate was a turning point. Victor's wit and authenticity shone through, while the manipulated candidate stumbled, revealing cracks in his facade. The public began to question the frontrunner's behavior and policies. Victor's popularity surged, and he became a symbol of hope and change. Uter continued to gather evidence and expose the alien influence, ensuring that the truth reached the masses. Chapter 12. The final battle. On the eve of the election, Uter discovered a last-ditch effort by Usty to rig the voting machines. With the help of CTR, he launched a covert operation to prevent the tampering. The mission was dangerous and required precise coordination. Uter infiltrated the facility where the machines were being manipulated, encountering fierce resistance from Usty's agents. The battle was intense, but Uter's training and determination allowed him to prevail. He successfully neutralized the threat, ensuring a fair election. Chapter 13. Victory. The election results were announced. Against all odds, Victor won by a narrow margin. The public celebrated, and Victor gave an inspiring victory speech, acknowledging the challenges ahead and the importance of working together to build a better future. Uter watched from the shadows, knowing that his mission was complete. He had saved Earth from alien conquest, but his work was far from over. He returned to CTR, ready to face new challenges and protect other worlds from the threats that loomed in the galaxy. Chapter 14. The aftermath. Victor's presidency marked a new era for Earth. He worked tirelessly to address the issues that had plagued the planet, implementing policies to combat pollution, promote peace, and ensure water security. His unique approach to leadership, blending humor with sincerity, inspired people to come together and make positive changes. Uter continued his missions with CTR, always vigilant and ready to defend the galaxy from those who sought to conquer and oppress. The bond between Earth and CTR grew stronger, with Earth becoming a symbol of resilience and hope in the face of adversity. Chapter 15, Reflections. Years later, Yuta returned to Earth to visit Victor. They met in the same secluded park where their journey had begun. Victor, now older and wiser, looked back on the incredible journey they had shared. "Thank you, Yuta," Victor said, his voice filled with gratitude. "Without you, none of this would have been possible." Yuta smiled. "You were the hero Earth needed, Victor. I was just here to help." As they looked out over the city, bustling with life and hope, they knew that their efforts had made a lasting impact. The galaxy was still a dangerous place, but as long as there were people willing to stand up for what was right, there was always hope for a better future.